more Katrielle. I promise you I will get a haircut. Alright, so, does anybody remember the last case I was working on? Because I did 2 cases last night. And I got more Crayon Tropical. Got more of this. And Body Armor Water. I'm not showing the logos because I'm not sponsored. If it shows the logo, well, then alright. But I'm not going to make a habit of showing the labels onto it until I actually get a sponsor. Alright. You're going to see me looking down a bit because these puzzles are weird and I didn't get to do any puzzles off stream. I will though. I think I'm going to do that since I have Tuesday off. I think I'm going to do that Tuesday. Okay, let's see. Okay. Alright. So, I think the next case that we're working on deals with ghost stories. We're gonna buy clothes first, though. What should we wear for this ghost story? We have Sweet Sweets, Girly and Glittery, Luscious Looker Sweet. Oh, that's Pink Macaroon Montage. Lavish Locket Sweet. The Cute Classics Luscious Looker Suit. We've got the Girly Glittery again. And this is Purple Diamond Dazzler. More Cute Classics. Cupid's Cutesy Costume. More Girly and Glittery. Lunar Lapis Luxury. Let's see. Girls and Glittery Stellar Stunner. Dating Dress. Cute Classics Private Eye Pinafore. Sweet Sweets Melty Choco Checks. Cute Classics Double Decker Dress. Double Decker. Alright, whatever. Girly and Glittery. Pedaline Pinafore. Let's see, Tomboy Equestrian Ensemble. Cute Classics Magnificent Sleuthing Suit. Cute Classics TikTok Trouser Suit. Girly and Glittery. Diamond Drop of the Hat. Cute Classics Puzzle Besting Breeches. Sweet Sweets Shortcake Showpiece. Cute Classics Emerald A-Line. Girly and Glittery. Arresting A-Line. Cute Classics Royal Blue Robe. She does look awfully nice in that thing. We're going with it. We have 7 more. Why don't we buy some more? Sweet Sweets, Itsy Bitsy Spicy dress. Sweet Sweets minty macaroon montage. Cute classics tea time attire. Girly and glittery solitary stunner. Retro refit. Cute classics barrel business bombshell. Cute classics antiquely attire. Cute classics classic cologne combo. Girly and glittery's pink stellar stunner. Sweet Sweets cute cobbler clobber. Sky blue statement. Girly and glittery tidy tourmaline turnout. Sweet Sweets berry untarty attire. Cute classics natural knockout number. Sweet Sweets sunny Sunday bests. Cute classics bubbly bygone best. Pleated pleaser. Cute classics aqua A-line pleats. Girly and glittery surefire sapphire sleeveless. Sweet Sweets pleated pie pinafore. Sweet Sweets cutesy cocktail dress. Denim daily. Girly and glittery ladies locket suit. Sweet Sweets saturatory shirt dress. Sweet Sweets fruity formal wear. Cute classic fancy floral flock. Hey Phoenix. Imperial elegance. Girly and glittery hearty highbrow ensemble. Cute classics rosy riding jacket. Sweet Sweets perfect cret chemistry. Let's see. Well, hello there, Phoenix. Again. Sweet Sweets floral jelly jacket. Cute classics pretty purple presentation. Picnic blanket wrap. Let's see. Sweet Sweets below knee spicy dress. Sweet Sweets strawberry striped shirt. Striped skirt. Cat's pajamas. Luke's lookalike. Emmy impersonation. Let's do that one. But we're gonna say no. And we have 4 more. We're going to do Aurora. Grown up Luke garb. I want to take the new off of it. Because I don't think I'm going to get new outfits. Okay.
bad look, I think.
And now we're gonna go back to this one.
That looks great, I think.
Because I like this one. Alright. Now, daily puzzles are gonna still say new. And I don't know how quickly we're going to do this. And my other playthrough, I think I'm only on case 6, I want to say. But there is definitely going to be more cases after 8. This is not done. But I think this one's my favorite out of all the boring cases. Well, that's very odd. We're in the right area, aren't we? This is where Miss White said she lived, isn't it? Yes, according to the map, her house should be around here somewhere. But I don't see a mansion fitting the description nearby. Lisa White is one of the 7 dragons, isn't she? That's right. So she's sure to have a very luxurious home. Now, where could it be? Remind me again why she asked us out here in the middle of the night. She simply told us that she had a mystery she needs help unraveling. She specifically asked us to come at night, but she wouldn't elaborate any further. Perhaps she's very busy during the day, What is it, Cat? That suspicious-looking person over there. Do you see her? Oh, great. It's Emiliana Perfetti from Scotland Yard, the perfect storm. So it is. Well, I wonder what she's doing out here in this time of the evening. Let's go ahead and say hello. It would be rude to ignore her. Well, aside from that, we are going to look around. Oh golly, there's something in that tree over there. I can't quite make out what it is. It's too dark. Don't worry, Ernest. It's only a puzzle. What a funny place for it to be hiding. Tree route. There is a bird in the middle of the forest, and it has a strange habit of flying from yellow tree to green tree to get to where it wants to go. Help it find a route back to the eggs waiting in its nest, stopping off at every tree along the way. Select a tree to make the bird fly there, but it mustn't bump into or fly over other trees on the way. This is interesting. Alright. Well, I think I want to... This is not really that hard.
This should do it, I think. And that's how it's done.
You did it! The bird flew around the forest to get back to its nest. It's great that it made it back to the egg safe and sound. It It just goes to show, Ernest, if you don't turn over every stone, there are bound to be puzzles that you missed. Oh yes, miss. I'll turn over every single stone I see from now on. Twice. That's a bit excessive, don't you think? I don't know, I should ask Phoenix. He's the expert in that. Do you think turning every stone twice is excessive, or do you think that's just the normal amount of detective work you expect out of detectives? I say, I can hear a lot of laughter from inside that house. The family's probably enjoying some time together. Ah, there's something there. I'm sure there's something there. Something huge. Oh, silly old me, it's just a tree. Sorry, it's so dark. I couldn't make out what it was. Even in the dark, you should be able to realize that's a tree. Well, let's go talk. Good evening, Emiliana. Go where? Oh, it's you. You shouldn't sneak up on people. Sudden shocks to the system are very bad for the skin, you know. Sorry. We weren't trying to surprise you. So, what are you doing in this district at this time of night? Work, of course. I was asked to pay a visit to a rather prestigious lady's residence. You were Well, that's why you're here. You're here on business too? Yes, we're just on our way to Lisa White's home. You've heard of her, I presume? She's one of the 7 dragons? That's where I'm going too. That is very strange. She told me she has a mystery she needs help to solve. That's right. Well, I wonder what this mystery is. It's mysterious already. Clearly, it's something very troubling. After all, she asked for the best analyst at Scotland Yard. And apparently a schoolgirl detective as well. I'm a real detective, Emiliana. Well, anyway, you might actually be able to be of some use. I can't find her residence. Can you help? We're in the same boat. It seems we were just looking for it too. It should be just here according to the map. But in that case, we just have to ask a passerby. Granny Riddleton, tell us your secrets. Excuse me, I wonder if you can help us. Oh? What's the matter, dear? I'll gladly help if I can, of course. Could you tell us where to find Ms. Lisa White's residence? Well, the White House, you say. Brr. Is she having a stroke? Nice one, Cheryl. Oh dear, you see, well, the White House is, well, people tell awful tales about that place. What kind of tales? Oh no, I really shouldn't be gossiping. Should I? Ha ha ha. If you want to know the way, all you need to do is follow that street over there. When you reach the spot where the streetlights run out, you've arrived. It's very dark, so mind you don't fall over. Thank you very much. We'll be careful. Oh, that's my pleasure. I must say, though, venturing to the White House, you're very brave. Aren't you concerned by that old woman, just what that old woman said? Concerned? What do you mean? She said people tell awful tales about Miss White's house. Well, we don't know if the tales are true, do we? Unless we go and find out for ourselves, of course. So let's hurry up, Emiliana. Ah, don't leave me behind. Wait. Lovely. Let's see here. Alright. If you move over to this marker and press A, the screen will switch to another map. You can move to different locations on other maps as long as there is an orange marker. It works in exactly the same way as usual. Select the marker by pressing A and then press A a second time, or select move to actually go to that location. Wow! You know, you could have left the map up to have all of that explained to me. I'd rather have a big wall of text right across the map to tell me all this thing, where the text box is actually slightly transparent. So let's move to another map. Oh boy. I can honestly say that I could have figured this out myself. This must be the place, I presume. Are you sure? I mean, you haven't made a mistake? It looks well and truly like a magnificent haunted house. Eek! Phoenix, are you still here? You're gonna help me solve this. Katrielle, you didn't have to actually say it. Are you perhaps scared of ghosts, Emiliana? Well, yes I am. Does that make me a bad person? Not at all. It's just interesting to see a different side of you, that's all. You're usually so cool and collected. Fear is a vital survival instinct, you know. Someone like you who doesn't understand fear wouldn't last 5 minutes in the wild. Well, luckily for me, I'm not planning any trips to outer Mongolia. What are you two yapping about? Please, ladies, let's not fight. Shall we go in now? We've found the place? Oh yes, of course. The mystery. Keep your mind on the job, cat. Miss White, hello. It's Katrielle Layton from the Layton Detective Agency. No answer. Perhaps she's gone out? Surely it's simply that the house is so large. She can't hear you from wherever she is inside. Aurora, how about knocking on the door? Yes, let's do that. Somebody find Phoenix and tell him he's helping me solve this case. You discovered the aeroplane. There's my aeroplane. Another of the dragons, Miss Lisa White, has requested a meeting with me to discuss a case. For some reason, she asked us to come after dark. We've headed to Millionaires Row. Now the sun has set. But now we can't find her house. Once again, we bumped into Emiliana. It seems she's also been summoned by Ms. White, so we headed to the residence together. It's a creepy place, or perhaps gothic would be a better word. No, it's plain creepy. What will the case be? You really have to ask, Katrielle? I'm sure it's something. With all the ivy growing up the walls, it's almost as if the house is saying keep out. What a gloriously grand balcony. It's like something from a play. On a bright sunny day, that would be an inviting place to take a nap. But in the dark like this? Alright. Let's go ahead and knock on the door. Hello, Miss White. It is rather peculiar. There's no sign of anyone being in. It's starting to feel like a horror film. Haha. Things are getting interesting now. Interesting? You have a what personality, Katrielle Layton. Let's see. The door appears to be unlocked. Shall we go in? No! That really would be like a horror film. The lost party of youth in the wood who stumble across a terrifying haunted house in the middle of the night and foolishly venture inside. Yes, it's textbook. What I can never understand about films like that is why they'd go inside in the first place. It makes no sense. Well, you could wait out here on your own if you like. Lord, let's go in. What a scaredy cat. Don't worry, there are lights on inside. Look. Yes, well, I'm here on police business after all. I must be professional. Well, we're going inside, whether you like it or not. Hello, is anybody home? No, there's nobody here. We'll have to go. But there are lights on, and the place doesn't feel empty. So if there is nobody at home, perhaps this really is a haunted house. Katrielle, stop it! I'm only pulling your leg. Careful, cat, or she'll run off screaming down the street like a little girl. I would pay to see that. I find it hard to believe that there's nobody at home. Miss White asked both of us to come at this time. Wait. What? What is it? I thought I heard something. What did you hear? What is it? What is it? Good evening and welcome. Ah! Oh, unexpected visitors. It's a ghost! Wow. Okay. I can't believe his name is Wooster. It's most unforgivable of me not to have noticed your arrival and greeted you in the proper fashion. I apologize. Welcome to the White residence. I am the White's butler, Wooster. Wooster? Did he say butler or scary old man? I didn't catch it. Hello, Mr. Wooster. I'm Katrielle Layton, and this is... Miriana Perfetti, Scotland Yard. Hello. Miss White asked us to come because she has a mystery she wants help solving. Very good, ma'am. I'm sure Miss White would like to give you the details personally. Miss White is the head of the household, I believe. Indeed, ma'am. Mr. and Lady White regrettably passed away in an unfortunate accident. Miss White was their only child. The young Miss White is disinclined to venture outside the residence. She is of a solitary disposition. Really? What does she do to entertain herself all alone in this large house, I wonder? Since infancy, Miss White has been most adept at crafts and handiwork, ma'am. She maintains a full schedule of such activities. I see. And could you tell us where we might find Miss White now, please, Wooster? Of course, ma'am. Kindly proceed directly up the staircase. Ms. White is expecting you. Okay. So, bear with me. I'm going to check something. Hold on. I'm going to check something on Twitch because I've been having some issues with claims. They are, in fact, illegal claims because they're being claimed by the composer himself, and he's not legally allowed to claim anything because he's not the content holder or the content owner. Let me look here. Okay. So, if there's anybody on Twitch that's watching, if it's not level 5 claiming it, nobody can claim the music off from this. Everything that I'm using is in fair use. And if there's anybody other than level 5 that's claiming it, they're claiming it illegally. And I will continue to dispute it. And if Twitch doesn't do anything about it, I may have to go elsewhere to make sure that these claims stop. Because it's affecting my settings on Twitch, and if they can't legally claim it, then he shouldn't be allowed to claim it. Then he should not be allowed to do the claiming at all. And Twitch needs to actually put a stop to it. Alright. Hello. Oh, you've come. At last, a normal room with a normal person in it. That would appear to be Ms. White. Let's find out what this is all about. Okay. Oh. Well, I kind of figured that might have been that puzzle. Miss Layton, look! There's a puzzle hiding here. Oh wow, a stumper, not a spook. Then, in the spirit of puzzle solving, I'll unstump it without delay. I kind of jumped the gun just a tad. Alright, well, let's see if we can solve it. A little boy is desperate to win a toy at the fairground, so he's trying his hand at a game involving ghosts and gifts. You have to line up all the gifts horizontally, vertically or diagonally to win. But if you accidentally make a line of ghosts while you're shuffling things around, you lose. You can move the ghosts and the gifts up, down, left, or right in any empty space. Okay. You have to line up all the ghosts vertically or diagonally to win. Okay. So here's what I'm gonna do. I should probably get the DS port because there are puzzles in the DS port that are not on the Switch port because they changed them. Okay, the left gift. Okay. All right. Alright, move the top ghost in the second column up. Okay. Move the ghost in the first column right. Hold on. Alright. Alright, so I'm thinking that so which one's the first column? This is confusing. Ghost in the first column up. You can't move it up because there's a package there. Alright. So this is columns. These are rows. Okay. Let's... Alright. So, I can only move this left. Top goes in the second column up. That's got to be this. Move the top ghost in the first column right. Hey R3D Gaming. Okay, I kind of read this wrong, so... Okay, this is good. Okay. Thank you for hitting the like button. Okay. Okay.
This should do it, I think. And that's how it's done.
You did it! The boy's chuffed to bits with that toy plane you just helped him win. Seeing how happy it's made him is all the reward you need. Haha, there. It's disappeared in a puff of smoke now that I've solved it. I say, puzzles are rather like ghosts in a way, aren't they? It's almost as if you have to solve them to let them rest in peace. It's a bit elaborate, don't you think? Okay. Pillow. Well, 3 fashion farthings. You discovered the Oriental ornament. It's been added to your collection. I am terrified. That is terrifying. Why is that terrifying? Oh, that's right. It's a doll. So, old porcelain dolls and old Japanese dolls were terrifying. My mom had some old dolls. They were very fashionable and she took care of them. Where they are now, I don't know. But they were terrifying dolls. Oh yes, the bed is everything you'd expect from a bed in a stately mansion like this. From our side, the place looks a little rough around the edges, but you can't sniff at the interior. A 4-poster bed. I've always wanted one of these. I mean, when I was a young child, of course. Do you not still want one there, Emiliana? I don't dislike dolls, but these ones look like they are about to move of their own accord. Ah, these are antiques. Porcelain or biscuit dolls, they're called. And they've been lovely cared for, I'd say. Each doll is beautifully dressed, isn't it? I wonder if the clothes are handmade. They're terrifying. Hello, Miss White. I'm Katrielle Layton from the Layton Detective Agency. Hello, Katrielle. Thank you for coming. So you, I presume, are from Scotland Yard? Yes, I'm Emiliana Parfetti. If we could get straight down to business, please. Do you have some problem here at your home, Miss White? Oh, please call me Lisa. Yes, I've consulted so many people already, but no one seems able to solve my problem. Then the other day, Madame Dublé mentioned a lovely young detective woman she knew. I see. So she recommended me? How kind of her. Yes, and I also heard there was an extremely competent analyst at Scotland Yard, so... Well, I thought perhaps one of you might be able to help, so I decided to invite you both here to explain. Well, we'll certainly do our best, I'm sure. Could you tell us what the problem is then, Lisa? Oh yes, of course. But if you don't mind, I'd rather like you to solve this puzzle first. I don't want to waste your time, you see. If you can't manage this, I'm sure the ghost will prove too much for you. Ghost? Some cheeky ghost wants to play with you. It's a game where you have to listen to what they all say and then figure out who is lying. It seems there will be a maximum of 2 of them who are not telling the truth. Select the ghost faces to hear what they have to say and work out which of them is lying and which isn't. Select the ghost to see its comment and hear what it has to say. There are no liars among us. You're actually a liar. I am the only one who's lying. Well, no, then you're a liar because A is just a liar. There are only 2 liars among us. Possibly. But it seems there will be a maximum of 2 of them who are not telling the truth. Not everyone is lying, you know. Well, that's kind of the thing there. I think we figured out who the liars are.
This should do it, I think. Any mystery or any puzzle solved.
We could have at least gotten something harder. I only need 3 followers on Kick. If I can get 3 followers on Kick, I will be close to monetization. I think it will take a couple of days because I've already got the hours put in for it. And that's all I need for monetization on Kick. What? You should have more than enough hours put into it. Yeah, there's plenty of hours into it. But I just need 3 followers on Kick. And I can set up my monetization on Kick. 8 hours a day? That's way more than their recommendation, right? Yeah, that's way more. But they only wanted like 30 hours in a month. and we kind of surpass that, that would mean 1 hour per stream. 2 days is 16 hours. 4 days is 32 hours. So I want to get some posters to put up on the wall. I want to put some video game posters up there, but I want a good price for it. You should have them framed because they last longer. I want to get a frame for that poster right there. That would be a good one to put up. That one's behind. That's behind my door. Yeah. That is Detective Pikachu. But that's a movie poster. Posters last longer if they're framed. You did it. A and B were lying. They really enjoyed that game. Looks like they're not done playing yet. Well, Lisa, do we pass muster? I've solved your little puzzle. Wonderful. Yes. I feel sure I'm talking to the right people now. You see, it's about the worrying, well, blood-curdling, really, events that have been taking place here. Would you pull out a meat? Because I could put it in before I go to work. You just have to check onto it and make the mashed potato, because we'll have to use up the mashed potatoes that are on the counter. I'll just put the meat in the crock pot. It's just mashed potatoes and the meat. Blood curdling? I don't know if you'll believe me when I tell you this, but we have ghosts. I knew it. Yes, and not just a few either. The whole house is crawling with them. Check the date on the taco sauce. That's amazing! So this really is a genuine haunted house. What are you so excited about, Katrielle? I'm afraid I have no idea why the ghosts have chosen to visit. Perhaps their departed souls with a grudge against my family. Or perhaps the house is built on some significant site. Or some other reason entirely. I just don't know. But whatever the reason, the ghosts are here and their malice is directed at me. Do you mean the ghosts are scaring you? They're intimidating you? And this happens on a daily basis? That's right. Various supernatural phenomena have been taking place. I'm so scared. I don't know what to do. I've consulted so many people already. I had construction workers and surveyors here, trying to determine if what's happening is really the work of ghosts. I asked the police to investigate in case it's criminal activity that's behind it. But none of those avenues bore fruit. I even had a famous spiritual medium and a shaman here trying to help. But no one has been able to stop these mysterious happenings at all. I see. So you've really been at your wit's end. But then you heard about us. I really don't think it's a profiler that you need, Miss White. I'm not at all sure we can be of any assistance against the ghosts. Of course we can. Any mystery solved. That's the Layton Detective Agency motto. How can you possibly claim that? So, does that mean you'll take the case, Miss Layton? And you, Miss Perfetti? Just a moment. I really don't. Of course we will. Whatever is going on here, Be it ghosts or guinea pigs, we'll get to the truth of it. I haven't agreed to anything yet. Thank you so much. Oh, that's such a relief. Wait, what? Huh. Profiling ghosts? This really isn't my job description, Katrielle. Hey, if you can profile a criminal, you can profile a ghost. I don't see any difference, Emiliana. But Lisa's clearly extremely worried. We must do our best for her, don't you think? Oh, I say, you are so generous of heart, miss. I do agree. It's our duty to help people who are in trouble. No self-respecting English gentlewoman would turn their back on a person in need. Well, I have Italian blood. That explains the accent. Va bene. I don't like to be manipulated like this, but as you say, we have a duty of care to the community. So, shall we start by investigating the house? No, I think we should start by questioning all the relevant parties. We need more information about what exactly is happening here. I certainly don't disagree. Allora, I will accompany you. Oh, really? But in this Seville or theater case, you were determined to operate independently. There may be vital evidence or hints that you overlook without me there to point them out. Sure, it's got nothing to do with you not wanting to be alone in here, has it, scaredy cat? Your dog has a very discerning bark, Katrielle. Come along then, let's get started. I think it's clear who the best source of information about the goings-on in this house will be. Are we sure the butler didn't do it? Oh, they already said that. Gosh, ghost? It's rather scary, isn't it? Gosh, ghost. It's scary you believe in that rubbish, Ernest. You mean you don't, Cheryl? Of course not. It's all just be some big misunderstanding. Sure, I can English well. May I? Ah! It would appear I startled you, sir. My apologies. Yeah, and you should apologize to Ernest, too. The poor pup nearly jumped out of his skin. What an exceptional canine you keep, ma'am. One discerns an almost intelligent tone to her bark. Thank you, Wooster. In fact, we were hoping to speak to you about what's been happening here in the house. Indeed, madam. It is to be understood that you have accepted Miss White's request. Very good. I shall endeavor to answer any questions you care to ask. Lisa tells us that you've been experiencing a lot of ghostly visitations recently. Is that right? That is correct. Phenomena of the supernatural are to be observed here with some regularity. Since the late Mr. White passed away, it is my understanding that the rather unfortunate moniker of the 6 White House Horrors has been adopted by local residents. That is unfortunate. The 6 White House Hauntings has a more mysterious ring to it, don't you think? Great idea, Cat, mocked the terrifying butler. Tell me, Wooster, have you witnessed any of these strange happenings yourself? Indeed, sir. I have seen the ghost of which Miss White speaks. A most spine-chilling experience. It was the first of the 6 occurrences. An incident that has come to be referred to as the ghosts of the garden. Tell us more. Very good. One evening, I was performing my usual duties, patrolling the grounds that summoned the property. As I walked through the garden, I heard a peculiar noise. Somewhat like a muffled voice, compelled to investigate. I approached the source of the sound. To my surprise, I observed a great number of ghostly forms in one corner of the garden, jostling and writhing together. I say, discombobulated, I nevertheless had the presence of mind to retire before the apparitions became aware of my presence. Regrettably, however, I stumbled upon a small shrub and was bound to exclaim. Unsurprisingly, the ghosts heard my outcry. They turned to face me, and with great malice in their eyes, made an utterance thusly. Woo! Ah! That is the tale of the ghost in the garden, ma'am. You certainly tell it very vividly, Wooster. And you say there are 6 such tales? Indeed, sir. That which I have just relayed to you, and 5 others, of equally disturbing nature, I'm told. I trust you will uncover them all. We most certainly will, don't you worry. Brr, that butler is too creepy for words. Could you hear what he was saying, Emiliana? You were standing a long way back. Of course I could. Now tell me, how exactly are you planning on getting details of the other 5 tales? By asking people. Let's see if there are any locals nearby who can give us some information. It sounds like this wonderful haunted house is something of a local attraction. Allora, we can leave? I'd agree it would be a good idea to find some witnesses who don't actually live here if we can. Alright then, let's go back out onto the street and see who's around. We've been asked to investigate mysterious happenings at the White residence. I certainly never imagined I would be investigating ghosts, but it's too fascinating to pass up. Whatever the truth behind all this is, I'll find out. According to the butler Wooster, there are 6 stories of the supernatural connected with the property dubbed the White House Horrors. Our first task is to find out about them. Wooster told us about the ghost in the garden. Now for the other 5. Alright. So, this means we have to go back outside. So, let's go here. But this house still gives me the creeps. It's funny. I would never have said you were the type to believe in ghosts, Emiliana. A good profiler must always interpret data with an open mind, allowing your personal belief that ghosts cannot possibly exist to cloud your judgment is an elementary and fatal mistake. Oh, I thought you were just scared. What did you say? Yikes, I mean, sorry, nothing. Have a little backbone, Ernest. So, shall we find some people to question? Oh, hello, Miss, let me see. Oh, yes, Miss Layton and Emiliana. Good evening. What are you doing here, DC Booker? According to my notes, the owner of this house, oh yes, here it is. A Miss White asked Scotland Yard for help. She's been the target of some rather grisly supernatural goings-on, and wonders if, oh yes, she wonders if it could be the work of pranksters. We're, investigating. Lisa did tell us that she'd enlisted the help of the police already, didn't she? So, Detective Constable, how is the investigation going? The details are all here somewhere. Inspector Hastings was on the case, but he was called away unexpectedly. Really? I wonder what for. He asked me to, let me see. Oh yes, to take over the investigation. So I'm, taking over the investigation. Have you learned anything useful at all? My notes do say that, oh yes, here. No, we haven't discovered anything that could explain the happenings. However, well, I did spot a rather suspicious looking shadow at the window before. And it is your job to look out for suspicious looking things, you know, Constable. Yes, miss. I'm sure I noted down my observation here somewhere. Here we are. I was investigating the grounds of the house by myself late one night. Something made me look up for some reason, and I saw a shady looking shadow at one of the mansion's windows. All shadows are shady. Constable. All shadows are shady, Constable. But certainly it was just somebody standing at the window, wasn't it? Oh yes. It was much bigger than a person, though. And then it just disappeared poof like that. Well, this certainly sounds like a supernatural phenomenon. After asking some local residents, I discovered it's been seen before. People around here call it the Wraith at the Window. I'm afraid that's, let me just check. Yes, that's all I know. The Wraith at the Window? Presumably that counts as another of the 6 mysterious happenings. Yes, I think so too, Ernest. Well then, that's one more off the list. Alright, so I think we need to go to the next one. Let's ask around here if anybody knows anything about the 6 White House horrors, shall we? It seems they're quite famous in the immediate neighborhood, at least. Perhaps, but I doubt we'll find many people on the streets at this time of night. Granny Riddleton? Dearie me, there you are. I've been ever so worried about you, you know. I presume you know about all the strange occurrences at the White residence. Oh, yes, I do. I make it my business, too. Of course, I didn't want to say anything before, because I didn't want to scare you. But people say that house is haunted. That it's been cursed these past years. That makes it sound like it's a relatively recent thing. Well, all the rumors started after old Mr. White passed away, you see. I heard it from a friend, first of all, and she heard it from one of her friends. A friend of a friend, Hardly the most convincing of sources, but continue. Well, she was invited by Miss White, apparently. Very late at night it was. She was shown into the living room and was just waiting for Miss White when a puppet that was on display in there started moving all on its own. No one was touching it or holding it or anything. It just moved. And then, just when she thought it was over, the accursed thing's eyes shot open, and it started to cackle. Cackle, would you believe? What a nut! Oh, I don't even like thinking about it. I'm sure you don't. Well, my friend's friend was obviously quite beside herself. She didn't bother making her excuses. She just fled. Fled right out of the house, she did. Oh, it's a chilling tale, isn't it? It's one of the so-called 6 White House horrors, you know. The possessed puppet, people call it. You'd have been very helpful, thank you. Terrifying, but helpful. Oh, well, I don't like to gossip, but if it helps. Do take care if you're visiting the place again, won't you? I shudder to think what you might find in there. So, the possessed puppet, that's another tale under our belts. They seem to be something of an urban legend around here. Let's keep going and see if we can find out what the others are. There aren't very many people about at this hour to ask, are there? No. It's rather different from when we came to this area before during the day. There were lots of people around then, weren't there? Ah, yes. That's when we were visiting Madame Dublay's residence, isn't it? That's not far from here, if I'm not mistaken. That's right, miss. I wonder how Rex is getting along. Rex? Who's Rex? Oh, I'm sorry, Emiliana. Rex is Madame Dublay's pet iguana. Iguana? What a strange pet to have. Actually, Lisa said it was Madame Dublé who recommended me to her, didn't she? I think she calls for a visit. We must go and thank her at once. This is hardly the time for making social calls, Katrielle. Alright then, let's make it a business call. We'll ask some questions while we're there. She may well know something about the 6 White House horrors. Mightn't she? I suppose that makes some sense. Good. It's a plan then. Let's pay her a visit at once. It's like across the street. Alright. It's definitely gonna make me find more hand coins. This is Madame Dublay's house? What an impressive villa. Shall we go in then? Not yet. Let's ask some questions of people on the street first. Good idea. Somebody might be able to tell us something useful about the White residence. There we are. And whoosh. Starfish scan. Stash and Scarfin. How much you want to bet he's going to give me a puzzle? Like he always does. The night is ripe. Ripe for puzzle solving, am I right? At the puzzle is interesting enough, I'd happily solve it at any time. That is a cliche at this point, Katrielle, because none of these puzzles are interesting. They do not hold a candle to your father's puzzles. Yes, I'm sure you would. You obviously have puzzles under your skin already. Well, it's your lucky night. A group of monsters has appeared. Defeat all the monsters and level up all 3 of the heroes to level 5. They each need a different number of experience points to level up. Blue on the left needs 5, yellow in the middle needs 10, and red on the right needs 15. Press and hold A to select a hero, move him or her on top of an enemy to attack. It's also possible to undo a move by selecting the attacked enemy. Let the battle commence. Are you serious with this? This is a puzzle based on an RPG. This is laughable. All right. So, okay. Okay. All right. Oh boy.
I've seen how to solve this now. Any mystery or any puzzle solved.
You did it! The monsters have all been defeated and the heroes have leveled up. Now they're all at level 5, the best level to be. I don't... See, none of these puzzles are constructive thinking puzzles. That is the whole basis of Professor Layton's puzzles, was that they were all constructive thinking puzzles. And all but one Professor Layton game, they were all good puzzles and made you think and had a lot of thinking onto it and allowed you to think outside the box. I haven't felt that with any of these puzzles here. They're all too simple. And even with Professor Layton versus Phoenix Wright, they were classic Professor Layton puzzles. And they allowed you to think outside the box. These are just puzzles that you could just throw at just about anybody, and they would be able to trial and error it and solve it. It's almost as if there's no thinking required to these puzzles. And if you have this game yourself, try the daily puzzles because they're not much better. The story is fine. But the puzzles don't hold my interest. And when you have a puzzle like this, it's kind of a bad puzzle because you can trial and error and start over as many times and kind of guess your way through it. There's not any dedicated thinking with this, because I get what they're going for. When you strategize, you have to think of ways to strategize and everything like that. What would be the best course to actually get your characters to defeat the enemy and level up? But I don't think the follow through on this puzzle really did it any justice, because these puzzles don't really hold. They don't hold my interest, only because they're not constructive thinking puzzles, and they're not anything that would literally think, oh, this is a much better way to solve this. Even though you've solved it, there's always a better way to solve this. A lot of times with these puzzles, there's usually one answer to them. Okay, so there were some of them that were similar to Professor Layton's that we solved in this one. Those were kind of fine, but it was a rehash. Where Professor Layton puzzles, they had a different element to them to make it fresh and new, but you knew it was the same puzzle. Okay. Well, was it as satisfying as it promised to be? Of course. I always enjoy a good puzzle. Yes, you do. And I'll have more puzzles for you when the time is right. Alright, so let's go here. We found out about the so-called Wraith at the Window and Possessed Puppet. So there are 3 horrors left now. As we're in the neighborhood, I've decided we should visit Madame Dublé and see if she knows anything useful. Okay. So now we're going to hear. Okay. I hope I haven't kept you waiting too long. Here it is then, your ideal meal. Ha ha! You were pretty quick, but it feels like an age already. My belly's a-rumbling. Now that's what I call a meal. Did I mention that I like eggs? Well, that meal was just exceptional. I nearly died when I tasted that truffle sauce. That stuff was just made for eggs. And the crab soup was right up my alley too. I've never tried that Cel Pancho dish before. I've got to thank you, Kat. I thought I tasted every dish the world had to offer. Well, I'm very glad I managed to satisfy your exacting requirements, Phineas. The Layton Detective Agency is open for all inquiries, be they criminal or cuisinal. Ideal! Alright. So, I have to wait for the next one. Alright. So, let's do the next one. Alright. Ah, I say, isn't that Cheryl's pal over there? That yappy dog we met on the hunt for Rex? You're right, Pinstripes. Looks like this is his territory too. Well, in that case, he's bound to know Lisa's house. Go and ask him, Cheryl. See if he's heard of the 6 White House horrors. Go on, boy, go on. All right. Stop hounding me. I'll go and bark hello and slip that into conversation when I can. Hi there, hound. Didn't expect to see you around here. Oh, it's you, hound. Still got your muzzle to the grindstone with that old sleuthing work, eh? Oh, it's not so bad. Anyway, I was just wondering, do you know the White House that's near here? You mean that really gloomy-looking place? I know it well. Ever seen anything weird there? Like maybe a ghost? Wow. What have they got you investigating now? I feel for you, Hound. I feel for you. So, ghosts, eh? Well, have you heard the tale of the sealed cellar? No? That's a new one on me. What's the story? They say the old house has a cellar, and sometimes ghosts show up there. Is that the kind of lowdown you were looking for, Hound? Yeah, thanks. I owe you a treat. So, according to my sources on the street, apparently there's a tale about the cellar in the White residence. The sealed cellar, he called it. The sealed cellar? That sounds like another of the 6 tales. Good boy, Cheryl. Golly! A cellar with ghosts? I don't like the sound of that. There must be something dangerous hidden down there. Excuse me, what are you trying to keep from me? I can hear you all muttering, you know. We just learned about another of the 6 White House horrors. The sealed cellar, apparently. Did you hear that? Who told you? I'm afraid I can't divulge that information, Emiliana. It's sort of a trade secret, you see. Company. Obviously, you private detectives have sources we legitimate law keepers wouldn't consider using. When you're as famous a detective as I am, you'll find some unique leads. Not dog leads. I mean proper investigative leads. Dog leads? What are you talking about, Katrielle? Never mind, let's just try to find out about the rest of these White House horrors, shall we? Alright. And one more. Oh, hello, miss. Good evening. Is Madame Dublé at home? Of course, miss. Madame and Rex are both here. They'll be delighted to see you, I'm sure. Just before that, we're trying to find out about the 6 White House horrors. Do you perhaps know anything about them? Oh yes. Only too well. There's a story people call the morbid mirror from the White's place, you know? Morbid mirror? That's right, miss. They say that in a cellar beneath the property, there's an old mirror. And when you look in it, you see an ugly, twisted face. Just to be clear, we're not talking about someone who has an ugly, twisted face looking in the mirror, are we? Oh no, miss. It's not your own reflection, you see. It's someone else's. Obviously, it's just a story. I don't know if there's any truth in it. Anyway, I'm sure Madam wouldn't like me to keep you. Sorry, of course. We'd like to ask Madame Dublé some questions too, thank you. Alright. So we're going to go in here now. miss? All the cat paraphernalia has been replaced with iguana trinkets and ornaments. Madam wasn't exaggerating in her letter, was she? Where did she even get this much iguana stuff? I suppose the lady of Madame Dublay's standing and wealth can lay her hands on whatever she likes. She had somebody make them all. Well, let's not allow this iguanatopia to distract us from our mission, to ask Madame about the White House horrors. Ah, a puzzle, look! Well then, I'd better solve it. You're a puzzle fan too, are you, Emiliana? Not the fan exactly, no. It's all part of the job. It's a way of honing my profiling skills. Solving puzzles stimulates the brain, Katrielle. Watch and learn. This girl has 2 sand timers. When she sees the sand in both of them, finish falling to the bottom at the same time. It makes her sleepy like a log. One of the timers takes 3 minutes and one of them takes 5 minutes. If the girl only turns the timers over when the sand in one of them has fallen to the bottom, what is the shortest possible time in minutes it would take for the sand in both to finish falling at the same time? Well, I'm not going to calculate that, so... Okay.
Collate the data and the answer will drop out. Of course, I knew I would be able to solve it.
You did it. The minimum amount of time it takes is 6 minutes. When the sand has all gone through the 3-minute timer, she turns them both over. Then, 3 minutes later, the sand in both of them reaches the bottom. Sweet dreams. Puzzles are really nothing to write home about. Not when the right person is tackling them, at least. Haha, look at you. You're grinning like a Cheshire cat. I am not. Solving puzzles is just part of my job. Well, alright. It is great fun, I suppose. Good evening, madam. I'm sorry to drop in on you unannounced like this. Katrielle, darling. Oh, I'm delighted to see you. And so is Rexy Waxy, of course. Just look at him. Is that a delighted iguana, Emiliana? I'm a profile and endless of human behavior, Katrielle. Iguanas are not my thing. Oh, I believe we've met before, haven't we? Yes, it was at the Savoy, if I'm not mistaken. That's right, yes. And thank you again for your cooperation in that case. Not at all. Now tell me, what brings you here today? Another case? Actually, we're investigating the so-called 6 White House horrors for Lisa White. Ah, yes, of course. It was I who gave Lisa your details, you know. And do you know anything about the strange happenings at the White residence, madam? One hears tales, yes. I remember one in particular. The Searching Soul is called. Souls now? Yes, the story tells of a most petrifying spirit that wanders the corridors of that stately old house. Night after night, it stalks its prey, striking terror into the hearts of any visitor, unfortunately enough to encounter. Well, the searching soul is certainly a blood-curdling tale, madam. Poor Lisa, she was always a rather quiet young girl, but ever since her mother and father passed away, she has seemed rather in the doldrums. I do hope you'll help her. I'm quite sure if anyone can solve the mystery, it's you, darling. Thank you for your confidence in my abilities, madam. Well, I think we know all of the 6 White House horror stories, don't we? Yes, the ghost in the garden, the wraith at the window, the possessed puppet, the sealed cellar, the morbid mirror, and the searching soul. Now, let's return to the house and determine whether there's any truth in these suspiciously alternative tales. Alright, I guess we can go back here. Alright. Good evening again, ladies. It is one to understand that you are now apprised of the details of the 6 White House horrors. Yes, we found out about all 6. Now we'd like to investigate them. We would need to access the house to do that, of course. Will that be alright? Leave no stone unturned, madam. It is Miss White's sincerest hope that you are able to explain these happenings. Fapene, let's tackle these tales one by one and see if we can explain what's been going on. You seem suddenly more upbeat, Emiliana. I think it's highly likely that these ghosts are nothing more than people's eyes playing tricks on them. I'm sure that once we investigate, the supernatural phenomenon will turn out to be simple illusions. On the other hand, we might prove that they're real. No! Miss Layton, I think it's time you stopped teasing Miss Perfetti, and we started our investigations, don't you? Yes, you're right. Let's begin with the first tale we heard, shall we? The ghost in the gardens. Wooster said he saw a number of ghosts in the grounds of the house, didn't he? And I wonder where in the garden they would have been. Alright, so we're going to read their journal. On our short diversion to Madame Dublay's, we learned about the sealed cellar, the morbid mirror, and the searching soul. In other words, we now know all 6 White House horrors. Time to return to the scene and investigate. We finally armed with a count of all 6 White House horrors, we have returned to Lisa's house. We have to solve each mystery in turn by investigating the location where witnesses reported seeing the phenomena. The first is the ghost in the garden. Okay. Alright. So let's... Did you see that? That eerie light floating up into the sky? Yes. Perhaps it was one of the ghosts. I see you found evidence. What? It's not Worcester, Emiliana. It's Wooster. You appeared out of nowhere, so I thought. despicable of me to have startled you in that way, ma'am. I beg your pardon. It was exactly like this. The ghosts gathering by night. Alright. A big group of ghosts have appeared. They will run away if they are hit by the flash of light that is the same color as them. The flash can only reach ghosts in the front row, but the ghost behind comes forward to fill in any gaps. Each color flashed has a limited number of uses. Eliminate all of the ghosts using the number of flashes you have at your disposal. Alright.
I've seen how to solve this now. Puzzles are made for solving.
You did it! The ghosts have disappeared and peace is restored. It's a little bit quiet without those little fellas around now. A most meritorious performance, ma'am. Now, if you will excuse me. What on earth did he show up for like that? What's that one on the floor over there? Ernest, pick it up, would you? Yes, miss. Are you sure it's not dangerous or cursed? It's a balloon, I think. So it is, a deflated balloon. Did you think the ghosts we saw before could have been? Certainly on a dark night, balloons bobbing around in the air could look rather ghostly. Are you suggesting the ghosts in the garden was nothing more than a bunch of balloons? I feel this mystery is starting to unravel. Let's see what we can find out about this wraith at the window next. There are so many windows visible from here. I wonder which one the ghostly figure appeared at. Okay. Okay. Alright. That was weird. My phone started flashing. That's not what's supposed to happen. Did you see that, Emiliana? A ghostly figure just appeared. There is no need to sound quite so happy about it, Katrielle. Well, it's not every day you see a ghost, is it? We're very lucky. I'd rather win the lottery, personally. Good evening, ma'am. Another sighting, I believe. Wooster! Oh, you startled me again. The apparition just observed is none other than the aptly named wraith in the window. The form, and silhouette at least, is quite removed from that of an ordinary mortal. Indeed, as in this puzzle. There is a silhouette of something behind the curtain. It's made up of 3 statues. But which ones? Look at the 5 statues and select which 3 are the ones hiding behind the curtain. The statues cannot be taken apart and must be used in their entirety. None of them have anything extra on their rear side. Alright. So, I really think I'm going to make a guess. Okay. How is that the right answer, though? If there's not a second arm at the bottom. That's a weird one. Something's not making any sense. Let me read the hints. I'm kind of confused though. Because unless these are flipped, because this would have to stay on top. Okay? So if you flip them, then those would go on top. This would be the arm on the bottom. Okay, so that makes... I guess you would have to just flip the A and D. I guess that's the only way that that works.
This analysis would be simplicity itself. Of course, I knew I would be able to solve it.
You did it. The silhouette was a combination of statues A, C, and D lined up to appear as one. A needed to be turned around so that left and right switched over, and D needed to be both turned around and flipped over. Okay, well, guess that makes sense. Yeah, because that was a bit confusing. Okay. Any puzzle can be solved with the application of logic. A stirring performance, Miss Perfetti. Most exceptional. Now, if you will excuse me. Why does he keep appearing and then disappearing again like that. Isn't that a... Look at this, Emiliana. You wouldn't expect something like this to be hidden in the bushes, would you? A projector? Yes, any image projected from here would look enormous on the wall. So the wraith in the window is just a piece of cinematic trickery? Well, first the so-called ghost in the garden, and now the wraith in the window. Both of them were set up by someone. Which means the remaining 4 tales of supernatural phenomena may well turn out to be fake too. Yes, which one came next? It was the possessed puppet, wasn't it? Let's head to the living room and carry on our investigations there. Okay. Alright, so that takes care of that. The ghosts that appeared in the garden were in fact balloons, and the wraith at the window was just a projected image. So somebody has set this up, but who? I don't know for sure yet, but we must investigate the other horrors thoroughly. Alright, so we need to go inside. Wrong button. Here we are, back inside then, miss. So, on to investigating the next of the 6 mysterious happenings. This is where that possessed puppet is supposed to have been, isn't it? Yes. The one that moved of its own accord and then cackled loudly. Brrr. And it's in here somewhere as we speak, probably. Do you know? I can actually feel someone's eyes boring into me. Good evening again. I trust your investigations are progressing favorably. A roof! Gosh, I say. You did rather startle me, Wooster. You have a habit of appearing when we least expect you, Wooster. Indeed, ma'am. I endeavor to be present at all times, yet never conspicuously so. It is a butler's duty. It strikes me that butlers are not unlike ghosts, appearing out of nowhere and disappearing again into thin air. Careful, miss. He might hear you. I wish you luck with your investigation, ma'am. Alright then, let's see what we can find out about the possessed puppet. Where is it, though? It moved! The puppet here moved even though I didn't lay a paw on it. It's alive! Isn't it sweet? What a lovely face. Have a care, sir. All right, I was expecting it that time. He's losing his edge. I remember Miss White as a young child, dotting on that very puppet when it was still ordinary. She would play with it rather like these finger puppets, in fact. This is a puppet show with finger puppets on 2 hands. You need to move the finger puppets so that there is a blue one on each thumb and a red one on each finger. A finger puppet can only move to an empty space on the other hand, And you are not allowed to have the same colored puppets next to each other on one hand. Select the finger puppet you want to move, and then select the finger you want to move it to. Alright, well, we're gonna give it a go. Alright. Alright. Okay. Okay.
So, in conclusion, still no patch on Miss Layton, of course.
You did it! The finger puppets look pretty pleased too. There is more than one way to solve this one. It's possible to do it in 12 moves, so give it a go. I see Lady Layton is blessed not only with exceptional puzzle-solving abilities, but also an exceptional puzzle-solving assistant. Thank you, Wooster. I do my utmost to be a worthy member of the Layton Detective Agency. In fact, miss, I think I may have discovered something important. Yes, Ernest? What is it? Look here. There's some sort of device inside this puppet. So there is. You sniffed that out pretty quickly, Pinstripes. I was thinking to myself that the puppet's movements looked rather mechanical somehow, you see. Yes, that would explain how the puppet was able to move without anybody touching it. So, this is just a wind-up doll? Huh, I really don't see what all the fuss is about here. Why are the people so scared of these obvious childish pranks? Says the woman who was cowering behind a chair until a few moments ago. What is the matter with your dog, Katrielle? Why does she always bark at me like that? Yes, well, there are only 3 of the 6 White House horror stories left now. Next, it was, the sealed cellar, miss. We'll have to find the way down there. A cellar, sir? I have been in service here at the White residence for a considerable number of years, but not once have I heard mention of a cellar, sir. Nor have I seen evidence of one. Didn't think Cold Terror Eyes would let us down here. Looks like we'll have to sniff out the entrance ourselves. I don't imagine it will be easy to find. After all, it's called the Sealed Cellar. So this is going to be fun. Come along, let's start looking. Alright. So we're going to look at this. Booster? Is this fireplace not in use? Indeed, ma'am. Miss White tells me she is most comfortable when there is something of a chill in the air. I see. An unused fireplace? The perfect place for hidden secrets, I'd say. So would I. I just hadn't voiced it yet. Stop stealing my thunder. Oh, really? You were thinking the same thing, Emiliana? Naturally. Being a resident of some considerable size, there are 1 or 2, or 3 or 4 rooms that remain unoccupied. 3 or 4? And I don't even have a kennel. The late Mr. White once posed a most interesting conundrum about an unopened room, in fact. Alright. This is a closed room that no one ever enters. However, 1 year has passed, and it seems that something in the room has changed. What is it? Press A to select a circle and move it over the thing you think has changed. Okay.
This should do it, I think. Puzzles are made for solving.
You did it. The thing that had changed was the water jug at the back of the room. 1 year on, and the water inside has evaporated. It begs the question of who could have put the water in a room that no one ever enters in the first place. Oh, the recipe tom yum. A most extraordinary performance. That is a somewhat taxing puzzle. Well, every puzzle has a solution, Wooster, just as every mystery has an explanation. Look at the fireplace. A passageway's opened up leading underground. Indeed, ma'am. Most surprising. Well, that looks like our way into the sealed cellar. Let's see what's down there. Would a lantern perhaps be of assistance, ma'am? I carry it with me when I'm patrolling the grounds at night. Thank you, Wooster. Shall we then, Emiliana? Sorry? Go down there, you mean? Of course. We can't investigate the cellar from here, can we? If you're scared, you can wait up here with Wooster. Just the two of you. Let me through. There could be clues down there that a wannabe detective like you would miss. Well, we wouldn't want that, would we? If you go, then start pushing me, Katrielle. We have ascertained that the possessed puppet was just a wind-up doll, and we have found the entrance to the sealed cellar hidden behind the fireplace in the entrance hall. What could be lurking in its depth? There's only one way to find out. Okay. Okay. I'll need to wait until I get something unlocked here. So let's go in. Brr, this must be the hidden cellar. It's dark and damp and awfully cramped down here, isn't it? It's like we're exploring an ancient ruin or something. What fun. When you put it like that, miss, it does seem rather fun, doesn't it? Puppy love. What's it doing to you, Pinstripes? So this is no time for games, is it? We must make a thorough investigation of this cellar. That's a lot of hit coins. Okay. Yeah! The mirror! The reflection! It's hideous! Alright then, we found it. So it won't be long before... yes, you're right. Any moment now. One is advised not to approach the mirror, ma'am. Right on cue. Hello, Wooster. I presume this is the morbid mirror? Indeed, ma'am. The discovery of it here in this cellar is unexpected. Nevertheless, this is certainly the mirror in question, reflecting, as it does, a singularly unpleasant visage, even as we speak. That is your own face, Rooster. Indeed, ma'am. It is said that the looking glass harbors magical powers. One is reminded of a deeply reflective puzzle. Perhaps you are acquainted with it. Get your light to shine on the treasure at the bottom of the lake. Beneath the water lie mysterious crystals that reflect light just like mirrors. If you select one of these crystals, it more than doubles in size and can change the direction in which your light travels. They say something happens if the treasure is illuminated. Alright. Alright.
Collate the data and the answer will drop out. That was just a simple piece of profiling work.
You did it! When the light reaches the treasure, it mysteriously floated up to the surface. Looks like it was searching for a new owner. There's more than one way to get the light to reach the treasure. You can do it by making 4 crystals bigger, or 8. Play around with it and see how many ways you can find. Executed. Most keenly, ma'am. If I may venture to remark, logic is a powerful tool indeed. It couldn't have been simpler. Now, if you will be kind enough to excuse me, I have a prior matter to attend to. Butlering is a busy profession, I see. Never mind that. Look at this. There is a void behind the mirror. Ah! A severed head! Save your vocal cords, Emiliana. It's just a mannequin head. Yes, the head is positioned so that it appears to be an image in the center of the mirror. But, yes, and in fact, this isn't a mirror at all. It's made of some special reflective glass. You can actually see through it. There's even a lamp behind the mannequin's head to illuminate it. Look! Which gives the illusion of a severed head reflecting in a mirror. Allora, the mystery of the molded mirror is solved. Gosh, that only leaves one of the White House horror stories remaining. We are murdering this investigation. Yes, it seems that rather than working separately, joining forces has really paid off. You think so? I don't. Oh? What I need for a successful investigation is information, not collaboration. The only person I can rely on is myself. Other people are a distraction. Thanks for the pep talk, Emiliana. Talk about thinking you're top dog. Anyway, enough of this. Clearly, the morbid mirror is just another trick. Somebody around here is setting up these so-called supernatural phenomenon. Is everything alright, Miss Layton? I just had a strong sense that somebody is watching us. The last of the 6 horrors, you mean? The searching soul. I couldn't say, but I think it would be a good idea to return to the living room. Now, Here's a suspicious looking box, wouldn't you say? I wonder what's inside. No, don't open it. Something hideous could be inside. Oops, I seem to have opened it already. Katrielle! Sorry, it just looks so fascinating to ignore. And anyway, there's no cause for alarm. It's only a puzzle inside. You visited the castle to show the king the 5 treasure chests you collected on your adventure. However, castle regulations state that each visitor may carry only 1 item of luggage. You're here with 1 companion, and you are a 3-minute walk from where the king is located. How many minutes will it take to show the king all of the treasure chests? 1 chest counts as 1 item of luggage.
This analysis would be simplicity itself. Of course, I knew I would be able to solve it.
You did it. Rather than taking the treasure chest to the king, you need to bring the king to the treasure chests. Then you just need to do 1 round trip. That was a fascinating one, Emiliana. The puzzle was perfectly fine. But the way you opened the box when I specifically asked you not to was not. I am sorry. I just couldn't help myself. The curiosity would kill me if I didn't look. Alright, so we're going back to the living room. That's strange. No Wooster. But he was just in here, wasn't he? Look! It's a ghost. Ooh. Ooh. Where did it go? It just vanished. No, it went down the corridor over there. Oh, listen. I can hear footsteps. Is someone climbing the stairs or something? Come along, everyone, after it. Are you alright, Lisa? Goodness me. Whatever is the matter? You all look as white as sheets. Where's the ghost? We were hot on its heels. Doesn't appear to be in here, though. It must have vanished. You didn't see anything then, Lisa? I think we know what's going on. We found this so-called morbid mirror. Wasn't a supernatural phenomenon at all, but a simple deception. So far, all 5 horrors we've investigated have been tricks. As we turned our attention to the final searching soul, a ghostly figure appeared before us. That would mean we need to question you. Oh dear, you haven't been plagued by a terrifying ghost, have you? Well, we saw a ghostly white figure, certainly. Oh my goodness. The house really is cursed. You didn't see anything yourself, Lisa? No, nothing. I've just been here in this room, though. Well, this is where the ghost was heading, and there are no other rooms it could have disappeared into. Are you trying to suggest, Katrielle, that it passed through a solid wall? Well, ghosts are informal things. Could have simply disappeared. Just like they appear out of nowhere sometimes, too. Lisa, do you have any idea why ghosts might be appearing in your home? No. No idea whatsoever. Although, I feel like I do understand how a ghost must feel sometimes. Whatever do you mean by that? All alone in the dark, the poor ghosts must be very lonely, I imagine. I think they wander around looking for company, really. Just like in this puzzle. Okay. Alright. The black ghosts travel along the white path, and the white ghosts travel along the black path. They've been split up from their friends in the black and white maze. Use the 5 panels to connect the maze path so the white ghosts are reunited with each other 2. Press and hold A to pick up panels so you can move them and complete the maze in the right-hand frame. The panels that are already placed cannot be moved. Alright, so I need to pick up one of these. I think this goes here, and this will go up here. Okay. This will go here. This will go here. And this will go here.
This is an interesting one. Any mystery or any puzzle solved.
You did it! Now the black and white maze is all joined up again, and the pairs of ghosts have been reunited. Frightfully good of you. People are so scared of ghosts, aren't they? But even ghosts can have friends. Unlike me, all alone in this ridiculously large house. Lisa, I suppose the ghost we just saw was the so-called searching soul. Yes, and I didn't see any signs of trickery this time, unlike the other 5 apparently supernatural phenomena. So perhaps, golly, it was a real ghost. Of course it wasn't. It must have been a trick of some kind. A searching soul roaming around, looking for company. Well, we're gonna solve this one. Now I've uncovered the truth. This mystery is history. Interesting. I've just completed my own profiling assessment and reached the conclusion too. Well then, it looks like it's time to reveal the truth about the White House horrors and the ghosts that roam its corridors. It seems we both arrived at the truth at the same time. How disappointing. Let's go and tell Lisa, shall we? Lisa, we've managed to ascertain the truth about all the strange happenings here. You have? Goodness, that's a surprise, I must say. Nobody else managed to. I was expecting you to be a little happier at the news. Oh no, I am happy. Please do tell me everything you've learned. It turns out the ghosts here weren't haunting the house after all. What they've been haunting is your heart.
I've deduced the identity of your ghost. It's Miss Seeker. First name, Attention.
Who?
No, that's not right. Let me rephrase. Not Miss Attention Seeker, but Queen Attention Seeker the 13th. Liza, you used your wonderful craft skills to make ghosts yourself, didn't you?
Oh,
You deliberately
Liza, I
engineered
guess her
all
name
this fuss, setting the people who came to investigate an impossible puzzle to solve.
I am...
Liza, you've been lonely, haven't you?
I'm so sorry. I just needed company. I needed someone to talk to. Anyone. I just couldn't bear it any longer.
Well, you can always call on me, Liza. I'll be happy to chat with you anytime you like.
Oh, Katrielle. You're too kind.
And don't worry, I'll give you my very best consultation rate.
You're going to charge her? You realise Liza hasn't been over for a chinwag, even once. You think she's dressing up as ghosts again?
possibly.
No pause for alarm, Shirl. Liza has plenty of new friends now. Ghost hunters have flocked to the house. She's even set up a club for people interested in that sort of thing. It's called the Supernaturalists.
Real original.
It is.
He's even shocked.
Perhaps they'd be interested in a supernatural talking dog, huh?
Possibly.
Hey, I'd wear clothes if I could.
We're gonna change that, Cheryl.
Anyway, I'm pleased for Liza. At least she doesn't have to be a lone wolf anymore.
Yes, although she may be overcompensating. They seem to have ghost parties at the house every single day now. She sent this photograph. Look.
I say.
Shocking.
She was a ghost of her true potential for so long. Just waiting in that big, lonely house for somebody to notice her. To be her friend. Now she has dozens of friends and she can finally start enjoying her life. Okay. A new case code has been added. Ghost exercise. A new shop has been added to passersby minigame. A new level has been added to the Hound and the Pound minigame. Okay. Following the ghostly white shadow led us to Liza's room. But when we entered, the ghost had mysteriously vanished. Where did it appear from, and where did it go? It turns out Liza was behind all 6 of the so-called White House horrors. Lonely and desperate seeking company, she had concocted everything as a way of getting attention. Now though, she's made lots of friends with a shared interest in the occult. I am the ghost of the White House. Run! Run for your lives, powerless mortals. Oh? If you do run, I will reveal the horror of my true form. Run before terror grips you. Gwar! Even the screams does not dare to emerge from your mouth. Haha, I will spare you today, but I will be back. How did I do, Wooster? Did I scare you today? Regrettably, not, ma'am. The performers had one or two holes. If you will forgive my impertinence, your gwar had a distinctly beastly quality to it, ma'am, rather than a ghostly one. It was something of a mixed metaphor, shall we say. Oh dear, I don't seem to have done very well. Scaring people is really very tricky. Indeed, ma'am. However, if I may offer some small insight, there is perhaps one fundamental rule to observe. Yes? Conviction. One must not merely wish to scare people. One must wish to terrify them to their very cores. But how, Wooster? Your curiosity will be your end. You will never leave this house. Instead, you will remain here for all eternity, in an endless cycle of torment and despair. A ghost must convince its victims that all hope is lost, ma'am. Hello, gameplay boy. I see. I thought you were actually saying that to me for a moment. Haha. And the dread must show in the eyes, ma'am. The voice must come from the very depths of the abyss. Wah! Forgive the melodroid performance, ma'am. But perhaps some useful pointers have been demonstrated. You're too scary, Wooster. Indeed, ma'am. I was endeavoring to give an understated delivery, so as not to offend. I'm afraid that understated for you, Wooster, is still extremely terrifying. I confess, it has been brought to my attention that my visage has a certain unworldly quality, ma'am. It is unfortunate, since I am, as you are aware, a most jovial and cheerful person, ma'am. Oh, well, to be honest, that's something of a surprise to me, actually. Well, anyway, I think my friends will be arriving soon, so perhaps we'd better end today's practice here. Very good, ma'am. Might I inquire whose company we will have the pleasure of sharing today, ma'am? Oh, it's just another supernaturalist gathering, that's all. But we're going to try to summon aliens today. Then we'll be having a party as usual, Wooster. So if you could make the necessary preparations, of course, Mom. I shall brace myself for the fright I will no doubt encounter in the morning when I awaken to tidying up, ma'am. That was funny. Let's see what we got here. Alright, passerbys. That should be good. Alright, passerbys is done. Hound in the pound. Okay. Alright. We still have 2 more puzzles left. So let's go back to this. Of the 6 white house horrors, 5 were nothing more than parlor tricks. Just as it all comes down to one last horrifying happening, a ghostly figure appears. Katrielle and Co. give chase. Okay. So, we must... Alright. Oh dear, this is a trouble. Are you alright? You seem upset about something. I spotted this puzzle when I was gazing up at the night sky, but I can't make head nor tail of it. Ah, well, perhaps I can be of assistance then. When the star moves, it leaves a trail in its wake. Can you feel the whole night sky with its trail? The mysterious objects floating in the sky are warp holes. They are paired according to their appearance, and when the star goes into one of them, it reappears out of the other. Reappears out of the other of the pair. Use the directional buttons to move the star through all the squares. You are not allowed to go through a square that already has a trail on it. Alright. Okay. Alright, Alright.
seen how to solve this now. Puzzles are made for solving.
There we are. You did it. The night sky is shining brightly with all of the beautiful star trails. There is more than one possible route, so see if you can find some other ways to light up the sky. Oh, you solved it. That's smashing. Thank you so much. I'd be more than happy to help you with any puzzles that are troubling you in future. Puzzles are what I do best. So we're going into this one. And we're going to do this one. Oh gosh, if you look closely at this picture, there's a puzzle attached to it, see? You're right. Why don't you see if your mind is as sharp as your eyesight, Pinstripe? Try to solve it. Good idea, Cheryl. If I show Miss Layton I'm a skilled puzzle solver, she'll start to see me as more than just her assistant. I wouldn't get your hopes up, pup. Alright. Let's put this picture back together. Slide each of the pieces in the picture into the right position, and then place the pieces outside of the frame into the empty spaces. Press and hold A to pick up a piece and move it around, but you can't move pieces outside the frame. They also cannot overlap or be moved through each other. Oh, so I gotta slide the thing. Okay. 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 Does anybody know what this picture is yet? I believe I know what it is. It's the Mona Lisa.
If you'll entertain my idea here. That's a relief. I wasn't entirely sure.
You did it! The picture has been perfectly put back together. Nice one. See if you can manage it in just 14 steps. I did. There. Did you see that, miss? I solved it. Miss? Bad luck, Pinstripe. She had to go and see a man about a dog. Oh, bother. I really wanted her to see that. Alright. We're gonna watch this again. I'm not gonna reread it all though.
I've deduced the identity of your ghost.
I'm so sorry.
Well, you can...
Oh, Katrielle.
And don't worry.
You're going to You realise you think she's dressing...
No, Paul. She's even...
It is.
Perhaps they'd be...
Hey, anyway, at least she doesn't have to...
Yes. She sent this photograph.
I say.
Shocking.
Alright, so that means that everything is solved for that one, everything is solved for that one, that one, that one, and that one. So then we have to do that one. But I'm going to go back out. We're going to purchase a few things. And let's change up the decor. Let's do Azaran Legacy theme. And then the cushions, which I don't have enough of, this would be the cushions for it. We could do Poponio, or better yet, Poponio. Does that look weird? Now, Katrielle needs a new outfit now. She now has to be Aurora
That looks great,
now.
I think.
And now, profile card. She is now Aurora in her Azaran Legacy theme office. But let's start off with this. Is this definitely the place Inspector Hastings asked us to meet him, Ernest? Yes, miss. In front of the Layman's Reserve Bank, he said. Well, it doesn't appear to be open yet. I wonder what the inspector wants. Maybe it's some problem at the bank. I don't trust banks. Apart from Barclays, it's all in the name. Well, he didn't mention anything like that. He just telephoned the agency and asked us to meet him here. That was all. He's always doing this. That man never gets to the point. Well, anyway, it's a pretty impressive building, isn't it? Yes, it's amazing to think that just 10 years ago, no one even heard of the Layman's Reserve Bank. Well, this building doesn't look new. I expect the bank bought it from somebody else, that's why. It's very important for a bank to portray the right image, you see, Cheryl. In its name, its logo, and its office buildings. Barclays just has a kennel as its logo. I like it. Oh, there's Inspector Hastings now, coming out from inside the bank. Yes, and he looks troubled. I smell a case in the making. I wonder what it's going to be. Ah, there you are, Cat. Thanks for coming. Good morning, Inspector. You have a new case for me, I take it? Spot on. In fact, you were asked for personally. You mean somebody else asked for me to investigate? Not you? Spot on again. Your little agency's getting quite a name for itself. I said I'd go get in touch with you on the gentleman's behalf. Felt quite pleased with myself as it happens. Well, I'm glad the agency is becoming more widely known, and I'm not sure what that has to do with you, Inspector. Well, I'm the one who cottoned onto your great puzzle-solving abilities, aren't I? Takes a keen eye to spot a good investigator, Cat. He knows how to blow his own trumpet. Explains the big nose. Well, it's jolly good news that the agency is getting the recognition it deserves, don't you think? It's a tribute to your wonderful detective skills, Miss Layton. Blimey! Listen to me gassing. Come on, we better get in. The gentleman in question has specifically requested we keep this investigation hush-hush. Mum's the word, all right? Yes, Mum. Well, let's go in so we can find out what this is all about then. Alright, so let's look for stuff. Oh, Coney collar. Hey, I forgot something, huh? Inspector Hastings summoned us to the Layman's Reserve Bank main branch, where we learned that it was actually someone other than the inspector who requested my involvement. The agency's repute is clearly on the up. We've entered the bank to find out more. Okay. Is it a private joke, or is it something you can share? Oh, you scared me. Anyway, it's nothing. Don't worry about it. I'm not worried, but I'm sort of curious. Ah, Mr. Torrey. I didn't know you banked here. Ah, hello, Miss Layton. I don't know where I'm at, to be honest. Mav sent me this puzzle and I just can't solve it. Really? Mr. Rector sets puzzles? Sometimes, yes. You couldn't help me solve it, could you? Here, let me show it to you. There is a wall with 12 sections that needs to be painted, just like the one in the picture. Red around the outside edge on the left, blue around the outside edge on the right, and purple in the center. A pot of paint for one section costs 10 pounds. For red, 10 pounds for blue, and 30 pounds for purple. How much is the painting going to cost? Try to figure out the minimum possible price. 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 100. The minimum possible price. Am I actually going by the price on the cans to give the total amount? Because I doubt that we're going to need to charge is that it's going to cost 160. So let's see if all 10 of them will be 10 pounds each.
I've seen how to solve this now. Puzzles are made for solving.
You did it! 6 red pots and 6 blue pots gives a total cost of 120 pounds. I see what he did there. Mixing 1 pot of red paint with 1 pot of blue paint gives 2 pots worth of purple paint. Take care to get the quantities right when you're mixing them. There, that's how it's done. Is that a help, Mr. Torrey? Brilliant! You made that look so easy, I suppose you detectives are primed for puzzle solving. I'll bear you in mind next time I'm stuck. Well, I hope you do. Because these puzzles are like simple as shit. Alright, let's go. Gosh, it feels deserted in here without any customers, doesn't it? Oh, there's a woman over there though, look. Yeah, she's not a customer. That's the general manager of the bank. The general manager? She's very important then. You said it, Sunshine. The Layman's Reserve Bank has branches all over the country. Each one has a branch manager, and that lady there is the manager of all those managers. The gentleman who asked for this investigation said she'd fill us in on all the details. Alright then, let's get filled in. Alright, well, I'm going to search. The interior of the building is every bit as imposing as the exterior. All this stonework and marble, very impressive. Are we still outside? The ceiling's so far away I can't see it. Oh. Undercover umbrella. So what am I missing here? That's going to be a mystery. A pen on every desk. People visiting the bank can use these desks to write on if they need to. Mucky pups. They should write on paper, not the desks. Oh look, there's a puzzle with a pen on this one. In this picture, a square is colored in if it has lines drawn around it. Can you make it so that 4 or more squares are colored in? If you select a pencil, the pencil will disappear and a line will appear in its place. The line is drawn in the direction the pencil was facing. Select the pencils in order to draw the necessary lines. You can also delete lines by selecting them. Alright. Alright, let's start with that one. And we'll start with that one. And we'll start with that one. We'll start with that one.
This puzzle's got some bite. They don't call me Sherlock Holmes for nothing.
You did it. You boxed off those squares nicely, but the whole lot ended up being colored in the end. That was jolly spiffing, Cheryl. You've obviously been taking notes from Miss Layton. Well, you know, Pinstripes, I might have lost my memory, but I haven't lost my mind. Do we know that for sure? Hello, I understand that you're the general manager of the bank. That's right, love. And who are you, coming in here with your dirty dog? We're not open to the public yet. I'm sorry? Gosh, have we done something to offend? No, sorry, madam. She's not a member of the public. This is the detective who'll be investigating the case for you. Detective? This little girl? Are you sure she's up to the task? This is a very complicated case, you know. I do understand, madam, but I assure you, Miss Layton is highly accomplished in her field. Well, let's hope so. because I demand perfection. Any slip-ups, and I'll have to ask you to drop it. Please, rest assured, I'll solve the case for you perfectly. Of course, I'll need you to give me as many details as you can first. Would that be alright? Yes, I suppose so. Ms. Layton, wasn't it? Yes, Katrielle Layton, of the Layton Detective Agency. And my assistant here is Ernest Greaves. Hello, I'm Bianca Teller. As you already know, Miss Layton, I'm the general manager of the Layman's Reserve Bank. Oh, please call me Katrielle. No, I'd rather not. First names can be a source of confusion. Using people's full names is the perfect solution. This husky is a real barrel of laughs, isn't she? Well then, perhaps you could explain exactly what the problem is. It's a sensitive matter, to be treated with complete discretion. Do you understand? Your secrets are safe with me, as safe as this bank's vault. Are you being sarcastic? No, I wasn't meaning to be. Is there some problem with the bank's vault then? Yes, I pride myself on my perfect security measures here, but we've been the victims of grand larceny. I say, someone robbed the bank? How much was taken? 100 million sterling in notes. I see. 100 million? Wait, 100 million? That's a lot of cash. Did you just say 100 million, Cheryl? I don't think I can have heard her correctly. How much is 100 million? How many bags of dog biscuits would that buy? They would expire before you could finish them, Cheryl. That would buy you all the dog biscuit manufacturers and dog biscuit paw. That would buy you all the dog biscuit manufacturers in the world, Cheryl. Really? I don't think I can eat all of them. Are you talking to your dog? You do realize the gravity of this case, don't you? It could undermine the whole bank. Trust me to get lumbered with a detective who talks to her dog. I asked for her especially, Bianca. Oh, Mr. Sloane's. I wasn't expecting you, sir. Weren't you? It's my bank that's been robbed, isn't it? Don't want the boss breathing down your neck, is that it? No, of course not, sir. Well, you clearly aren't taken with my choice of detective. That's for sure and certain. Oh, no, sir. I'm sure you've chosen perfectly. I'll cooperate with Miss Layton in any way I can. Glad to hear it, lass. Because she'll be handling this investigation alongside the good gentleman from Scotland Yard. Oh, yes, of course, sir. I'm sure they'll get to the bottom of it. Were his boots that shiny when he walked in here, or has someone been licking them? Well, at least it means she'll stop treating Miss Layton like a schoolgirl. If you'll excuse me then, Miss Layton, now that Mr. Sloane's is here, I must be getting on. Oh, sorry. I hope we haven't kept you. It's just that the branch manager had to be taken into hospital, you see. Gosh! People sustain injuries in the incident? Oh, the doctors say it's not too serious, but he hasn't regained consciousness yet. I'm having to fill in for him at the moment. I see. Well, you're obviously very busy. Excuse me then, sir. I'll get on. So, We haven't properly been introduced yet, have we? I'm Grant Sloanes, owner of this bank. I have a few businesses, actually. This is just one of them. It were Madame Dublé who told me about you. So when I spoke to Inspector Hastings, I made sure he understood I wanted you on the case. Oh, that's very kind of you, Mr. Sloanes. I'll do my best to live up to your expectations. He certainly looks the part, doesn't he? He's a giant. He really packs a punch. He'll punch you if he hears you, Pinstripes. Hey, what's that, lad? Oh, no, I mean, nothing. I believe I've seen you before, Mr. Sloanes. At the premiere of the No Sub for Love, wasn't it? At the Savoy? Ah, yes, that's right. You solved that one as well, if I'm not mistaken. Does that mean you're one of the so-called 7 dragons? Well, it's not a title I had chosen for myself, but yes, people do call me that. Anyway, enough chat. Let's get down to business. Yes, of course. Miss Teller informs us you've had a break-in. That's an understatement. 100 million quid's hardly a break-in. Anyway, break-in, burglary, grand larceny, whatever you want to call it, it needs sorting and fast. So, first things first, let's show our young detective here the vault where the money was, Inspector. Right you are, Mr. Sloanes. I've already got the lads from the yard investigating down here. It's in the basement, of course. I'll explain more once we're down there. Alright. Let's see. Alright. According to the Layman Reserve Bank's general manager, Bianca Teller, an incredible 100 million pounds has disappeared from the bank's vault. Bank owner and Dragon Grant Sloanes has asked me to help determine what happened. Alright. Alright. So we're going to go here. So, this is where the incident took place. That's the master vault of the Layman's Reserve Bank. 100 million quid in cash went missing from inside there. I say, it's enormous. That's not a vault, it's a room. It was discovered missing early this morning. Looks like a class case of grand larceny. So, we've got to catch the crook who did it and get the dough back as quickly as possible, Cat. You say people from Scotland Yard are already investigating the vault, Inspector? Have you found any evidence that might suggest who did this? Not a flaming sausage. It would have taken a pro to crack this safe, that's for sure. But even pros leave a trail usually. Well, not this time. That is strange. I'll need to ask some questions. Just before you do, love. Yes, Mr. Sloanes? I think I'd like to see this great mind of yours in action first. Let's see if you can solve this brain teaser. Not that I doubt your abilities, don't worry. I've heard nothing but good things about you. But I never deal with anyone until I've seen them roll up their sleeves and get their hands dirty with my own eyes. Sure. Now, what was the password to the safe? It's 6 letters long and uses the letters A, B, and C. Use the pointers on the memo to figure out the correct password and open the safe. The same letters repeated twice in a row and in 2 different places. The same letter never appears 3 times or more in a row. The letters A and C appear with the same frequency, which is less than the frequency of letter B. After a C, there's always an A. Well, that's certainly easy to tell. It can only be that.
I've seen how to solve this now. Any mystery or any puzzle solved.
Okay. You did it. The light shines brightly and the safe opens. What could be inside? Well, Mr. Sloans, I hope that's instilled some confidence in you about my abilities. You could have given her a harder puzzle, Mr. Sloans. Oh, golly, what's wrong? He's just glaring at us. Miss Layton. I don't understand. She solved the puzzle. Why is he looking so fierce? Cracking stuff, love. That's just what I was expecting. Even better. Oh, I think that was his pleased look. Remind me never to look when he's upset. Thank you. So, will you tell us the details of the case now? Of course, gladly. The mystery of the missing 100 million. It's up to you to solve it now. I'll do my very best to confine this mystery to history, Mr. Sloans. Alright. So I think we're going to be searching a bunch of stuff. Well, this is completely easy. Are you serious? 2 lampshades in one room. Interesting. Oh! I wasn't expecting a puzzle to jump out at me from somewhere like that. No. Who could have hidden a puzzle there? It must have been the bank manager, I suppose. Possibly. We can find that out, really. We can't find that out, really. But what we can find out is how to solve it. These pipes have been joined together to express 2-digit numbers. The upper number is 98. What is the lower number? Well, they flipped it around, so it's got to be...
This should do it, I think. And that's how it's done.
These hints, they're just not difficult enough. You did it. The pipe showed 2 digits joined together. The top half is the tens and the bottom half is the units. They literally just flipped the pipes. You solved 72 puzzles. You earned yourself 1 decor docket. Oh, well done, miss. Well done indeed. You astounded us by finding the puzzle in the first place, and now you've astounded us again by solving it. Haha. Well, thank you for the glowing praise, Ernest. Now, back to the case. Alright. Well, I feel like this calls for some retro action.
That looks great, I think. I wonder how I look in this.
Perfect. It's a very impressive looking vault, Mr. Sloans. Yes, this is the Hermit 5000. Hermetically sealed and totally indestructible. You could fire a shell from a tank at this thing, and the contents would be unharmed. In fact, it's not really enough to call it a vault. This thing is a fortress. Wowee! Does it really need to be so tough? I made it myself, lad. Well, one of the companies I own did anyways. Really? You own a company that makes vaults for banks? Let me tell you something, lad. Not just people's money that a bank's vault keeps safe. It's the bank's integrity and its customers' trusts. Oh, that would be a smashing slogan for your new vault. So, as soon as we completed the manufacture of the Hermit 5000, I had it installed here in the bank. I thought it would give our customers even more peace of mind. That's what I thought. I can't believe it's been breached so easily. I misjudged that one, and no mistake. So it's the latest model, this vault. Alright, so we must question our own abilities. Just look how thick and heavy this door is. The vault door can only be unlocked by entering the correct passcode. And the only three people who know that code are Mr. Sloane's himself, Ms. Teller, who you might met before, and the manager of this branch, and Mr. Shinplasters, who's now in hospital, of course. So in other words, no one can open the vault apart from those three people I see. And the security guard noticed there was a problem this morning. He found the vault door open already, and the branch manager was out cold on the floor. So presumably he was the one who opened the vault then. That's the only explanation we've been able to come up with so far, yeah. We had a good look at the vault door, but there are no signs of it being forced or jimmied in any way. A great big door like this one would be impossible to force open, surely. Exactly. So either Shinplasters was coerced into opening the vault, or the criminal slipped in after he'd opened it for himself. They're the only two possible explanations, as far as I can tell, right? Yes. You'd never normally have the chance to see inside a bank's vault, would you? That isn't a vault. That's an aeroplane hangar, isn't it? Gosh, imagine if you were shut inside there by mistake. That would be jolly frightening, wouldn't it? There's security in place to prevent that. Okay. I understand you were the first person on the scene, is that right? You're a security guard here, aren't you? Yeah, that's right. I still can't believe it. How could this have happened? That's what we're trying to find out. Could you tell us what you saw this morning, please? Well, it's my job to keep watch in the foyer area overnight, see? From when the bank closes one day to the next morning, I was keeping a lookout all night. But I swear, I never spotted nothing strange. And early in the morning, Mr. Shinplaster showed up as usual. He's the boss, see? Does Mr. Shinplasters always come in early to work? He's always very busy, so he usually tries to get in before everyone else. He must have had something to do in the vault because he went straight through the foyer and headed downstairs. Not long after that, I heard him cry out. So I ran down here as quickly as I could. When I got here, the vault door was wide open. Did you look inside the vault at that time? Well, I was worried, see? I thought there might be a robber in there or something. But I thought I should be brave, so I just peeked in quickly. And that's when I saw the body flat on the floor. But that was actually Mr. Shin Plastered, wasn't it? It was, yeah. And there was no one else about it all. Not in the vault or out of it. What did you do next? I dialed 999 straight away, of course. And then I called Ms. Teller. She's the general manager. You're supposed to call the general manager if there's anything not right, see? When she showed up and saw the vault, she nearly had a heart attack. 100 million quid gone. So it was Ms. Teller who first realized how much was missing. Yeah, it's not my business knowing how much is stashed in the vault, see? And the boys in blue showed up, the ambulances, like carnival around here. And that's all I can tell you. And is it right that Mr. Shinplaster still hasn't regained consciousness? That's what I was told, yeah. He broke both his legs as well, but they said it wasn't life-threatening. There's a good chance he saw the culprit, though. What a dreadful shame we can't get a statement from him. Yes, that's frustrating. So we must push on with the investigation as best we can. Right. Hello, hello, hello. What have we here? Miss Layton and her trusty assistant Ernest Greaves, I see. Hello, PC Beat. This is an amazing vault, isn't it? Although I imagine opening and closing it must be hard work. Aha! I had the self-same thought when I saw how thick the door was, but turns out it's motorized. All you have to do is enter the code and press the button, and hey presto, it opens automatically. So you don't need to be big and burly to open the vault then? I see. Not at all, Miss Layton. Even you'd be able to open it. If you knew the code. After everything we've been told so far, this does seem like a rather strange case, doesn't it? There's no trace of a robbery at all. Not a single scrap of evidence. That's exactly the problem we're facing in our investigation, Sunshine. But before we give up hope, let's just look around inside the vault. That would be alright, wouldn't it, Mr. Sloanes? Of course, I'll give you the guided tour. Alright. Alright, so. The huge vault from which the money disappeared was a Hermit 5000, an extremely secure high-tech installation made by another of Mr. Sloane's firms. The security guard discovered the open vault that morning, where the bank manager collapsed inside. Okay. So let's just head right on in. So this is what the inside of a vault looks like. Isn't it? It's enormous, isn't it? So shiny. The entire thing is made of metal. That's for security. The walls are just as thick as the door and made of heavy metal plate. How could anyone manage to steal anything from such an impenetrable box? The answers are locked within, Ernest. That's why we need to investigate. Well, I'm going to investigate my own way. That's a lot of hit coins. the ceiling of the vault is made of thick metal plate, I see. It's as gleaming as the walls and the door, all spick and span. What's above us here? The foyer we were in before? Oh look, there's a puzzle in here. Golly, in the vault? Do you think it's a particularly valuable puzzle, miss? Ha ha ha. A puzzle's value lies in how interesting it is to the person solving it. Let's find out what this one's worth, shall we? There are some pieces of paper hanging up with numbers on, and one of them is missing. Which number do you think is written on the missing piece of paper? 910111. Well, I guess you're only just going to give me one character then. That's just fine.
This should do it, I think. And that's how it's done.
You did it. The numbers are lined up in order. 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. Good. Well, with puzzles that interesting to stimulate my mind, I could stand to be a hermit, I think. Are there any more of them in here? Hey, they don't want your paw prints all over this place. All over this nice shiny metal. Stop touching everything. I say, what an incredibly large fan. That, lad, is the heart of the Hermit 5000 ventilation system. The air temperature and humidity are kept constant at all times. But why do you need air conditioning in a vault? People only come in for very short periods of time, surely. We don't just keep cash in our bank vaults, you see. We store expensive jewelry and works of art for our customers too. Things like that can be ruined by even the slightest variations in temperature or humidity. The Hermit 5000 isn't just as strong as an ox. It's as gentle as a lamb to the things inside it as well. Oh, I see. Yes, rather like the air conditioning that's used in museums and art galleries, of course. That's the idea, lad. Yes. Although I have to confess, the fan's been on the blink a bit recently, so we've had to turn it off. Obviously, that doesn't affect the security of the vault in any way, though. I see. So the air inside the vault is managed using that large fan, which is connected to the ventilation system. Cat, you might be onto something. Look, miss, gold bullion bars, and so many of them. Yes, that's what I expect to see inside a large bank vault, really. What is it? Have you spotted something, Cat? How long has these bullion been in the vault, Inspector? Do you know? They told me it's been sitting here for about a month now. In other words, the thief or thieves who stole the 100 million pounds would have also seen this gold, wouldn't they? Yeah, that's true, but Miss Teller informed me that every bar is accounted for. No gold was taken. Why, though? What thief wouldn't be dazzled by all these gold bars? Yeah, that is a bit odd, come to mention it. I have added away. And no mistake. They wouldn't take it because it's too heavy. There would be no way to get it out of there without being unnoticed. That would be stupid. They'd probably take one bar, possibly, but even that is risky. You'd get noticed real quickly if one of them were taken. Okay. I mean, not that thieves ever crossed my mind, ever. I was just speaking hypothetically, right? I think even you'd struggle to make off with much of this gold, Inspector. It's extremely heavy. It's not something you'd want to be trying to move in a hurry. Yeah, that makes sense. It would have slowed whoever it was down too much. Do you think that's why the gold was left untouched and only the rarities gotten taken? Do you? It's only a theory, but yes. We won't know for sure until we've investigated more thoroughly. Inspector Hastings, were these pallets positioned like this when the vault was discovered open this morning? Absolutely. Apart from taking the unconscious Mr. Shinplasters, Jesus. Apart from taking the unconscious Mr. Shinplasters away in an ambulance, the scene's exactly as it was found. Apparently, the missing money was stacked up on these pallets here. The banknotes weren't inside the case or box or anything then? Nope. Not according to Miss Teller's statement, anyway. All those notes would have been rather heavy, wouldn't they? One person alone couldn't have taken them all, surely. Perhaps we're looking for a group of robbers. That's a fair point, Sunshine. Bank heists are often carried out by more than one person. There's a good chance you're right. Oh golly, is this a chalk outline of Shinplasters, the branch manager? Yep, this is where he was found in the morning. Looks like it is Ed when he fell in the floor and knocked himself out. So they took him off into the ambulance like I said. I had the lads mark out where it was found, just in case it turns out to be important. It rather makes it look like a murder scene, doesn't it? Brr. Luckily, I don't think there's any chance of that. They say his injuries aren't life-threatening. But he hasn't regained consciousness yet, has he? Nope. The bloke's been away with the fairies ever since he was discovered. Which is a right pain in terms of my investigation. If we could just ask him what he saw, we'd be in a much better position. Alright. So, I think we talked to PC Beat. Oh, hello, DC Booker. So, you're working on this case, are you? Could you tell us what you found out, Constable? Well, of course. Well, I've interviewed a number of key people and yes, here it is. Apparently there were works of art and very expensive pieces of jewelry in the vault, as well as the gold. However, the thief or thieves only took banknotes to the value of oh yes, 100 million sterling. So everything was untouched. It is peculiar that. Perhaps whoever it was just couldn't be bothered to go through all the drawers. There are lots of them. Don't assume the criminal was as bone idle as you, Cat. Perhaps it was just a matter of not having enough time to take anything other than the banknotes. Pinstripes could have a point there, though. Well, according to what it says here, works of art and things can be hard to sell on without leaving a trail, you see. Yes, that would be why only the cash was taken. Apart from that, it just says here that I need to carry on investigating inside the vault. So... I think we've seen enough in here for now. Oh, Miss Layton, have you worked out who did it already? No, I couldn't say just yet. We need to do a little more investigative work first. Well, I'm afraid I've got a few business matters to see to, so I'll have to leave you to it, if that's all right. Absolutely. You can leave this in our hands, Mr. Sloanes. Thank you, Miss Layton, and good luck. Right then, ta-ta for now. What is Bank 100 million down? With his bank 100 million down, I'd say he's got more than a few business matters to attend to. So then, Cat, as a result of our investigation so far, here's my theory on what must have happened. You have a theory, Inspector? What do you look so surprised for? I am a detective inspector, Cat. What I reckon is, the thief, or thieves, must have snuck into the bank sometime last night. Then he or she, or they, waited for the branch manager to come into the morning, when he or she, or they, forced him to enter the security code. Now, he or she, or they, only nicked the cash because it was the first thing he or she, or they saw. Or he or she, or they didn't bother with the gold because it would have slowed him or them down too much during the getaway. In the end, he or she, or they boshed shin plasters over the head, made a run for it. Well, what do you reckon? I think I've nailed it. That was so convoluted, I couldn't even read or make sense of it. He or she or they could have done that. But is that really what happened, I wonder? What, you think I'm wide all the mark, do you? Well, the security guard was in the foyer from the close of business yesterday, right through until this morning. But he claims there was nothing unusual in all that time, doesn't he? Well, yeah, but... Not to mention the fact that immediately after the incident this morning, he says he didn't see anyone other than Mr. Shinplasters. So apart from being long-winded, your theory also fails to explain how he or she or they got in and got out of the bank unnoticed. I suppose you've got a point there. Back to the drawing board then. What a shame. The bank will be in terrible trouble if we don't solve this soon. A thief of 100 million pounds is going to be headline news all over the capital. Well, that's why this is also hush-hush. The press can't get hold of it. So you mean this incident hasn't been made public yet? No, and Miss Diller's been pretty nosy about making sure we understand that's how it is, as to say. Bad news for the bank, this. I'll say, if it's not dealt with in the proper way, it could mean that they have to close down even... So like I said before, mum's the word, got it? As an officer of the law, I'm only at liberty to keep this from the public for 24 hours. So we've got to find the dough before the end of the day. Just make sure you don't go telling your neighbors about this or anything, alright? As if I'd say a woof to anyone. That reminds me. I think we need to ask Ms. Teller a few more questions. She had to dash off before, didn't she? Well, she said she'd be in her office if we needed her. Alright then, shall we head up there now? You go ahead. I'm gonna stay here and push on with the investigation of the crime scene. Now, Ms. Teller is actually pretty darn suspicious. And that fan being turned off is another thing that's suspicious. Alright. Let me see what I got here. Alright. We've discovered that only banknotes were taken. Gold bullion and other valuables in the vault were not touched. Apart from an air conditioning failure, the vault is fully functional with no signs of a break-in. Time to talk to Miss Teller again. I think we're going to save it here. And I think we're going to end things here. Let me go grab my pillows now. This looks better now. That looks loads better now. Okay. Alright. Alright. So, let's put up our ending screen now. Alright, I think we should find a raise target. See who I have here. Set up the raid for her, right? Okay, go ahead. And I think on Twitch we're going to raid Jackal-Party. Because he's playing Pal World. Alright, so if you're on YouTube, give, who is it? Oh, wait, hold on. Before I do that, let me pull my hashtag. Come on, Nightbot, wake up. What's her name again? Give Mim a like and a subscribe if you're on YouTube. If you're on Twitch, give Jack a follow, and we are out.